So with the changing of the seasons upon us, the grass is dying, leaves are starting to fall from trees in my area, as for pretty much everybody that's not in the southern region in the Gulf Coast. Fall is upon us. The transition is already beginning, and we've covered cheapies, we've covered your mid-level designers. In this video, I'm bringing you the 15 niche fragrances I'll be reaching for the most this fall. So stay tuned. Starting with basically what I'm deeming overall better than Aventus. I would buy this before Aventus 10 out of every 10 times. NISHANE, HACIVAT. I love a good Chypre. The oak moss is so dominant in this. This is basically a fruity oak moss bomb. It's so good. I deem it so much better than Aventus. Yes, similar style, but once it starts to dry, in the opening you get reminded of Aventus because it has some strong similarities, but as soon as those citruses start to settle down, the pineapple and all that good stuff, really calm down, it becomes a completely different fragrance. Much more elegant and classy than Aventus because of the oak moss. It's that much more of a Chypre, I find, than Aventus. Aventus has more fruits and florals going for it, and the smokiness, and this is all about fruity oak moss. Not the most nuanced of fragrances, but I'll be damned if it doesn't smell good and perform great on my skin. Really is very masculine, but not too masculine. It doesn't smell like an old man type of smell, in my opinion anyways. And it's one that I got to spend a good bit of time with in the early spring, and then I kind of put away for the summer. And then now that we're switching into fall, I'm ready to pull this bad boy out again. That's why I wanted to start this video with this, because this is one of the fragrances I'm most excited to wear this fall. Very, very good. I did get this from Kingdom Fragrances because a few people will ask in the comments. And right now there's 4 options from Kingdom Fragrances. They have 50 ml, 50 ml tester, 100 ml, and 100 ml tester. Links down below if you're interested. But if you're looking for a beast, it's basically fruity oak moss. I'm going to be wearing this fall. NISHANE HACIVAT. So I haven't spent a lot of time with this one. I just got it in within the last few weeks. I have done a first impressions live stream with this. It's basically a darker cherry vanilla smell. Very, very lovely. Extremely unisex. Just my first BDK fragrance from BDK Parfums. This is Rouge Smoking. Delectable. Delectable cherry vanilla. Oh man, that smells so, so good. Believable, realistic cherry. My wife has a bunch of large cherries in a container in the fridge right now. We've been eating cherries recently. Kind of on a cherry kick, I guess. Because this isn't the only cherry dominant fragrance in this list actually. And it's my first BDK. I do have a decant of Citrus Riviera. That is lovely, but this is better. And this is definitely geared more towards cooler weather. It's a sweeter scent, obviously being dominated with cherry and vanilla. I mean, come on, that screams sweet fragrance. But it's not overly sweet. It's not syrupy, thick, sickeningly type of sweet. It's nice and smooth. It's very rich and robust. That vanilla really adds a creaminess to it, and there's a slight kind of smoky undertone in the background without a real smoky, heavy smoky nuance. It's just a little touch of it in the background. Very excited to wear this one. I'll be doing a full review in the coming weeks because I'm going to start wearing this one pretty regularly once it starts to crack the low 70s as the highs. I'm going to start wearing this one a bit more, and I will be doing a full review in the coming weeks, possibly maybe a little bit longer, but be looking out for a full review on this one, BDK Rouge Smoking. This one's actually quite a special fragrance to me. It puts me in a great mood while very relaxing. It definitely is a spirit-lifting aromatherapy type of scent profile to me. It's from SERGE LUTENS, 5 o'clock Au Gingembre. One that I tend to enjoy in the fall and winter time. Not the strongest fragrance for the cold, but for the fall, it's actually quite perfect. It's not too in your face. I'll spray that a little bit more. Oh man, such a good fragrance. If you like ginger, this is a lovely, warm ginger. Warm, almost boozy-like ginger in the top. This cacao note, this cacao pod that they have in the base offers almost a smoky leather type of nuance. Beautiful fragrance. 6 to 8 hours every time I wear it. Not a beast, but definitely an above average performer in longevity. And like I said, not an in-your-face projector. It's a much more subtle, you know, closer to the skin, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, type of projection. It's got some push and power in the first hour, but after that it does sit a bit closer, and it's, for me, like I said, just a mood booster, spirit lifter, just puts me in a great mood while still maintaining a very relaxing state. For me, there's a tea note in here as well. That's what kind of adds that calming effect that this fragrance is good for. One of the safer fragrances to get from Serge Lutens. This was my first Serge Lutens fragrance, and it's still my favorite that I've tried anyways. I'll be reaching for it again this fall. Serge Lutens, 5 o'clock au gingembre. This is another one that's new to the collection that I have not wore yet. I've only done a first impressions. I've been waiting. I'm so eager to get into the fall seasons because I have a lot of great new fragrances to the collection that are perfect for the season that I haven't spent time with. This is from ORMANDE. This is XANDRIA. Very dry, ambery, kind of powdery, dusty kind of scent. Man, it's such a good scent. Evening wear, not something I'm going to wear during the day. If we have an event we're going to, maybe a cookout or get together at the in-laws, something like that, I'll probably reach for this. Maybe even do a few dinner dates with it. Definitely geared towards the evening. And it's a little unique. I've heard it smells like Alexandria 2 from Zaharoff. I can't verify that because I've never smelled that one before, but if this smells just like Alexandria 2 from Zaharoff, then Alexandria 2 from Zaharoff smells great. I picked this up from Twisted Lily. This is a beautiful dry amber. And when I say dry, you got to really smell it to understand what I mean by the characteristic of what makes a fragrance dry. It literally dries my sinuses a little bit when I smell it. Very warm, and when I say dusty, it's because it's got this drying effect, which is still kind of a powdery type of amber, but very lovely, very strong. Don't need a lot of sprays with this one. This is more on the beast mode side. Long lasting, very in your face. Less is more with this fragrance in my opinion. And I will be doing a lot more testing and wearing with it this fall. I'm on JAYNE, XANDRIA. A house that I seem to be falling in love with more and more as I wear their fragrances. It's become my wife's favorite house. She steals Orient Express all the time, and now she's done sprayed herself down tonight when I was putting these together. She loves BACCARA Vanille from Les Fleurs du Golfe as well. You know, I haven't tried anything from them that's not a great fragrance. I have Night Flower. That's the only one I haven't wore. I wore this late winter, early spring, and then put it away for the summer because it's way too much for that. I've worn Orient Express and spent time with it. And then Coco du Yemen was a lovely ambery coconut fragrance that I enjoyed a little bit in the summertime, which I'm normally not a fan of coconut. That's kind of my favorite coconut scent now. This is warm amber, fresh, bright florals. Very dominant on the florals. I mean, it's from their Gulf Flowers collection. As you can see, if I can get it to focus down here on the label at the bottom, Gulf Flowers. And it's still very sweet. I know when you see Baccara, you're thinking, oh, it must smell like Baccarat Rouge 540. No, does not. Definitely a completely different scent profile. This is not Baccarat Rouge 540. This is much more sweet and floral than it lends that self. Might be the most faintest of comparisons and similarities in there, but definitely not their version of it or anything like that. It's a standalone, and it's quite lovely, very unisex. Everything I've tried for them is walking the line. It's good for anyone and everyone. They're not extremely expensive. They're straight from Paris. If you order from them, you will have to wait for it coming from overseas if you're here in the States. They have improved their shipping. The first time I got fragrances from them, took way too long. The next go round, I got it in a few days. They expedited it. They assured me they switched their carrier, whatever parcel carrier they were using, but great fragrances. They really do make great fragrances. Try a discovery set, get some samples, check out the house. Like I said, of the 4 I have, they're all really good fragrances. All, I would say, 7 and above. 7 out of 10 and above. All great fragrances that are underrated, don't get a lot of spotlight, that more people need to try. And I'll definitely be wearing this one a lot more this fall. Baccarat Vanille. Very lovely, sweet floral scent. So on the last one, I wasn't really liking the lighting there. So you notice the lighting has changed. We went ahead and upgraded the lighting for when we talk about, speaking of floral fragrances, MANCERA Instant Crush. See, now it's too bright. That's the thing. It's hard to get the lighting just right. But this is one of the fragrances I'm most excited to wear this fall. I featured this in my fall fragrances I'm excited to wear in 2021 video. Now this has your Baccarat Rouge 540 similarities. This is the more floral, slightly more synthetic version of Baccarat Rouge 540. This is MANCERA's version of it. This is a beast too. Feminine. If you like florals, you'll like this. The fall is when I really start to enjoy florals a lot more, as you'll notice by the fragrances picked in this video. There's a lot of fragrances that feature some sort of floral note, whether it's rose, marigold, iris, whatever. Heavy jasmine, which this one's got plenty of jasmine in it as well. Saffron is in here. A lot of amberwood though. I find this is a very dominated scent by amberwood. And it's polarizing. You know, not everybody's a fan because not everybody can enjoy a feminine leaning fragrance. Though marketed as unisex, it definitely leans feminine. Not the most masculine of fragrances. But honestly, it's extremely enjoyable. It's another side of the spectrum for the Baccarat Rouge 540 scent profile. Like I said, much more floral. And the performance is definitely there like you would expect it to be with MANCERA. You can get them for a pretty good price these days. Vinba Fragrances, Kingdom Fragrance when they have them, and so on. There's no shortage of places to get this for the sub $100 price range. And this fall, I'll definitely be reaching for it. MANCERA Instant Crush. So I did a full review on this one last holiday season. It was during the Christmas holidays, I believe, that I did the full review. This is my favorite MONTALE fragrance, hands down. I have like 12 scents from them now. This is Honey AOUD. This is another beautiful, creamy, amber, vanilla oud honey scent. I mean, it's got all of that is prominent. It's like taking some oud wood, picture some oud glazed in honey and amber with a dash of cinnamon sprinkled on top of it for some warm spice. It's just a lovely fragrance that's so well blended, but it's thick. It's got a stickiness to it. And when I say that, it's because of the thickness. Like this one's gonna hang around for a long time. This one lingers in the air. After you walk by, it's gonna stay in the air for several seconds. It's a dense fragrance. It's a dense aroma. You don't need a lot of sprays. It is gonna go all day and then some. Beast is an understatement for this one. This one stays with you. I wouldn't wanna spray my clothes with this. Because even just spraying your skin, if your clothes rub against it here and there, it's gonna wind up on your clothes and stay for days on your clothes. So definitely one, I would say 4 to 5 sprays is more than enough. If you want to do 15 sprays, hey, you're a big boy or big girl and you can make your own decisions. But me personally, 4 to 5 sprays, more than enough for this. Very pronounced, makes a statement, is delectable without too much oud. If you're not a fan of heavy oud, don't let the name or the fact that there's very present oud in here scare you off, because it's very well blended and it's just the right amount of oud. It's very, very wearable and extremely unisex. And I can't wait to wear this one again. MONTALE Honey Oud. Right back to another floral scent. My favorite KAJAL fragrance. My favorite pickup of 2020. It is LAMAR. Very reflective fingerprint magnet, as you can see. Fresh fruitiness up top, rose and marigold, floral heart, woods, toffee, touch of ambroxan. A lot of character here. A lot of character. Not a slouch in performance, but not some crazy beast. Very pronounced, very different. I find it to be quite unique, but versatile at the same time. It's a masculine floral. I don't find it to lean feminine for being floral. I mean, floral dominated fragrances, there's no two ways around it. It's more feminine than a fougere. I mean, come on. But for being a heart of florals like this is, it does lean masculine. The way it's blended, the scent profile, the notes used, it does make it lend itself to be a masculine floral, which there's not a ton of out there, obviously. And I think that's one of the things I dig the most about it. And if you're looking for one that's going to be, like I said, pronounced, but not too in your face at the same time, this would be a good one. I would say get your hands on a sampler or a decant. Try it out. Not everything's for everyone, especially when it comes to floral dominated fragrances. Just because I'm a giant fan of floral fragrances doesn't necessarily mean you will just because you like Prada L'Homme. You follow me? Prada L'Homme is a much safer scent than getting some of the floral fragrances that are featured in this niche fall list. And this is definitely one I'm eager to spray because I love wearing this one. One of my favorite fragrances in my collection. I have every KAJAL fragrance, and this one's my favorite, so that should tell you something. LAMAR from KAJAL Perfumes. Well now, mint, mint, and more mint. The spearmint oil used here dominates and hangs out for a very long time. There's a nice smoky, woody nature to it as well. Some sweet, spicy cardamom really adds to this and rounds out the heart of this fragrance. It is AMOUAGE ENCLAVE. One of, in my opinion, the best releases in the last 2 years. I think this is a great, great fragrance. I know everybody doesn't feel that way. Oh, man, and that's okay. Not everybody has to love this fragrance as much as I do. As long as I love it, it's all I really have to concern myself with. And I will be spending some time with this one. This one's a bit more special to me, but at the same time, I like to wear this one casually. I feel like it has a really good casual appeal, not something I have to dress up with in Oxford, though it does have a bit more of a serious side. I think the strong use of the spearmint oil really adds a laid-back nature to the opening. It's fresh, it's sweet, it's spicy, it's a little smoky and woody. It's very nuanced. It's an AMOUAGE fragrance. It's gonna change. It does change pretty rapidly on my skin, but luckily that spearmint oil hangs out for a long time and really keeps that freshness to really make it lean a little bit more casual, like I said before, but extremely powerful on my skin. Too powerful at 2 to 3 sprays for my wife, so I have to be very strategic when I know I'm going to be spending time with the wife and I want to wear this fragrance, because if we're going to be in the car for a while, it overwhelms her. It's a little much. It's very strong, and I like to wear 4 sprays of this one, which is a lot off of my skin. This is a very, very loud fragrance, very strong, room filler, look at me type of scent, at least on my skin. Can't wait to wear it again. AMOUAGE ENCLAVE. While I do enjoy this one in the winter as well, I feel the scent profile really lends itself to be just a wonderful fall fragrance. It's one of the most popular niche fragrances on the market. Seems like everybody's got a bottle, had a bottle, or at least had a decant at some point of Parfums de Marly Layton. You just can't go wrong with it. It's been cloned to death. I know a ton of people go with the clones, but you know, I just like the original sometimes. Oh, man, and look, the geranium makes for this Vicks Vapor Rub menthol smell on this one. It's not as present in some of the clones. I think that's because of the particular oil that's used here. I actually dig that about it. And it does remind me of Vicks Vapor Rub in the opening. I don't know how many of you get that, but there's a lovely spice here. There's a lot of spice, actually. I get a good burst of the apple, but it's mostly spicy vanilla. Is kind of the core of what this fragrance is about, and mainly on my skin, and I love that about it. That menthol mintiness kind of calms down after about 2 hours on my skin. The geranium doesn't hold the whole time, but in the opening it's ever so present. It smells like a spicy sweet Vicks Vapor Rub in the opening for me. I know that sounds kind of strange, but it's oddly addictive for me. Has gotten me many compliments. The wife does love the way this one smells. Always an added bonus when one of your favorite fragrances is also loved by your wife. You can enjoy it a lot more that way, you know. I do have about 20 ml left of my 30 ml decant of the Exclusive. I like to wear that more special occasions in the cooler weather. It was my Christmas Day scent this past Christmas, but the one I wear more is definitely the original. It's, to this point, it's a modern classic in my opinion. While it hasn't been around forever, it's been around long enough to where hype could rise and fall on it, and I think it's sustained a presence long enough to say it's a modern classic, and I'll definitely be wearing it this fall. LAYTON. My favorite tobacco scent. Does great in the winter. I think does just as well in the fall because it's so much fresher than what I would prefer to wear in the winter, to be honest with you. I'm talking about Argos Triumph of Bacchus, because this has this beautiful peach apple combination up top that mixes with the rum and tobacco, and it's just this lovely, bright, fruity freshness that's missing from what it smells similar to. It smells similar to red tobacco from MANCERA, but what's different here is this is fruity fresh, that's pungent smoky, okay? A lot of oud, a lot of incense, much darker fragrance. I think that's beautiful in the cold. Cuts through the cold like hot knife through butter, okay? Beautiful for the winter, and I think that's how I'm going to do things from now on. I think for the fall, I'm going to roll with Triumph of Bacchus. That's going to be my main tobacco scent of choice because it's my favorite tobacco scent. And then when the winter rolls around, I'll switch it out for the dark, pungent, in-your-face kind of similar scent profile with red tobacco, because they're both wonderful fragrances, but they have, in my opinion, extreme differences in the style of how that scent profile is done. Like I said, fruity fresh, clean versus dark pungent smoky. Not redundant enough in my opinion to where you can't have both. Disagree with me if you want. That's just how I feel about it. And I can't wait to wear this one. This is one of my favorite fragrances in my collection. I'm spraying it again. It's my stepdaughter's favorite fragrance. She took my 30 ml bottle. Oh, man, it's so good. Since it's matured even more and started changing color, I find the peach is even more dominant now. Even spraying it in the air, I just get this blast of that peach that wasn't as present as before. Beautiful. Get yourself a carded sample and try this. Argos, Triumph of Bacchus. This one's pretty new to the collection. I've worn it a handful of times. I did a full review with Chad from A Gentleman's Journey here on my channel. On this one, it is Bleecker Street from Bond number 9. Lovely fresh green scent. When I want something a little bit fresher this fall, this is going to be the one I'm going to be reaching for. I really enjoy how this smells. That beautiful blast of blueberry up top. There's some sweet notes here that I don't get too heavily. They are present, but it's more about the fresh greens here for me, and it does perform above average. And when I say above average, it's like an 8 or so hour fragrance on my skin, and I'm good with that. That's the sweet spot for me. 6 to 8 hours on a fresher scent, love it. 8 to 10 hours on a darker scent, good with that. This falls somewhere in the middle of all of that, so I'm happy with its performance. It's not a beast where it really reaches out heavy and grabs somebody, but within a few feet, they can smell you in the first 2 or 3 hours. Very, very lovely scent. The color scheme is very close to the heart for me. It's Mardi Gras colors, purple, gold, and green. I had somebody last time say, oh, your cap looks black. That's just the lighting. It's the translucent purple that it's known for, see? So I have to point that out. I just remembered. Somebody's like, man, is your cap black? Nope, it's the translucent purple. If you haven't tried this one, sample it. This is another one that's kind of a modern classic these days. While kind of polarizing, some people can't stand it, but those that enjoy it swear by it. And I get it now that I have a bottle of it. I'll be wearing it this fall for sure. Bleecker Street from Bond number 9. So this is that other cherry scent I was saying in the beginning of the video that's here. Now this is a very smoky, very dark smoky cherry tobacco scent from the Gate Fragrances called Memories. This, whew, man, this is a must try from the house. I have First Sight. It's a beautiful fresh green lemon scent, great for the summer and spring. But this, oh man, I wish y'all could smell this right now. I'm gonna spray it one more time. It's so good. Wow. Dominant cherry, robust, almost earthy tobacco with this lovely smokiness that just kind of engulfs all of it. Beautiful. Oh, I just smell it floating in the air. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Sample this one if you can. Their bottles are fingerprint magnets, as you can see here. The bottles are fingerprint magnets that they're a pain. It is what it is. But when they're clean, they look nice and pretty. Irrelevant to the scent, but man, it's a beast too. This is every bit of a 10 to 12 hour fragrance on my skin. I've worn it like 3 times. Haven't spent a ton of time with it. I do plan on reaching for this one. This is going to be more evening wear. This will work well in the winter also. The colder it gets, the better it'll get, I believe. I did wear it in the winter last year, and it cuts through the cold no problem. Much darker scent, but not so dark and not too heavy to where it can't work on a nice cool fall evening. I think this is going to be ideal for it. So this is one of those scents I'll be reaching for in the evening in the fall, especially when I'm in the mood for something cherry. So the Gate Memories. I actually wore this one within the last 2 weeks. It's one of my favorite fragrances from ROJA Parfums. Very masculine, green spice, warm spice type of fragrance. Fougere, one of my favorite fougères. Scandal, Parfum, Cologne. Yes. With all the newer ones I have, a lot of them are very fresh. Bergdorf Goodman could go here, but that's going to be much more situational for me for really special events. I featured it in a tag video where I had to pick a fragrance for a fall wedding. If I was going to a wedding this fall, that would definitely be in the running. But realistically, this is going to be the one I'm going to be wearing. God, that is so good. Now look, this is one I could see people saying old school smell, because it is a masculine fougere in the same vein as your Eau Sauvage and fragrances like that. Very rich green, but this is much more dense, warm, spicy, and the quality is next level compared to Dior Eau Sauvage. But it's in that same vein. That's a citrus dominant one. While this has some citruses, this is much more warm and spicy. Much longer lasting, projects a lot better, dresses up so well. This is a wonderful fragrance with a sports jacket, Oxford and above. This stuff shines, in my opinion. The scent profile begs you to dress it up, and that's how I feel about it anyways. Very special scent. Still my favorite in the line, even though it's not the one I wear the most in the Parfum Cologne line. I think this is that scent. And I specifically wear it around the fall. Even though it was hot the other day when I wore it, I've just been itching to pull this one out of its box and wear it. So much so that I wore it on a 90-degree day. And it was a lot for a 90-degree day. But I'll be damned if it didn't smell great on me. Scandal Parfum Cologne. Last, but absolutely not least, dare I say the one I'm probably going to wear the absolute most in this video, because it's just so damn good. I like to wear it out the shower some nights. I like to wear it during the day. I wore it during the summer, and it's a little too much for the summer, honestly. But I think it's the best niche release thus far this year. I am talking about Zaharoff Signature Rosé. That's right. I'm standing by that statement. You know, so far it's been my favorite niche release. This stuff is too good. Smoky rose incense. 3 different types of rose. Rose incense. The olibanum tears really smoke this thing up. There's a warm oud here, just in the base. It adds a warm wood smell. It's not a pungent type of oud. There's this sugarcane note with this tonka that adds this smooth, sweet aroma the way it's blended. Claude Deer did a wonderful job. This is a magical elixir. Claude did his thing with this. He took Noir, Signature Noir, and created this. He used that as his base. He used one of the flankers to create another flanker. Instead of just sticking with the Signature Pour Homme base to make the flanker, he took what he believed to be the right flanker to make this scent profile and bring that rose incense idea that George had to life. And I think it worked out magnificently. No slouch in performance. This is one that if you heat up, it will come back to life all over again, hours and hours and hours later. It's 8+ hours on everybody I've talked to that has tried it. For me, it's every bit of 10+. I've had an experience where I had it on my wrist when the bottle first came in. The next morning I went to the gym, and when my body started heating up, it started projecting like crazy again 16, 17 hours later from after when I had sprayed it initially. So this one will reactivate when you heat up. So be wary. You don't have to go crazy on the sprays, because if you start moving around, it's going to start pumping. Very unisex, but much more masculine. Probably the most masculine rose fragrance I've ever smelled, because it's so dark and smoky with that oud as well. Beautiful. Beautiful fragrance. Sample this one. Don't just take my word for it. Sample this one and try it. The one I'm probably going to wear the most, Signature Rosé from Zaharoff. Well, that's my 15 niche picks for fall 2021. Until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What scents are you eager to wear from your niche collection? I mean, as you can see, I have several that I either have not spent a lot of time with because they're relatively new, or some I haven't even wore yet because I got them this summer, and they're just way too much to wear in the heat. So I've been eagerly awaiting the weather to drop and cool down a little bit so I can pull these bad boys out. I've got several niche goodies that I'm eager to wear this fall. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 15 that I plan on reaching for this fall, you give them a spray now, really confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.